Good afternoon, ladies. Hills Crisp here, business mentor, meaningful marketing coach, and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to fill your events. And I'm going to give you a lot of top tips. So make sure that you have a pen and a notebook ready. Because a lot of people are still running events, right? So whether you're running free events like webinars or challenges, or whether you're holding online or in-person workshops or circles or something like that, or you're running kind of ongoing classes like yoga classes, you want to ensure that you're getting as many people as possible, or as many people as you want, into your events, right? Or there's really no point in running them, because events are a lot of work to create, to run, and to market, and especially in-person workshops and classes, right? So you really want to make sure that you are getting the kind of numbers that you want to be getting, and so that you're leveraging your time and your effort. Do say hi if you're jumping on, and let me know what kind of events you are running or would like to run. Okay, so filling events, it can feel harder and harder these days because there's so much noise online, and we feel like, people miss stuff, and the algorithms on the social media platforms mean it's much, much harder to reach the right people. And it can feel like that, there's a lot of events happening. Everybody's really time poor, and they're quite choosy about how they want to spend their time, right? So the big question is, how do you get your event to stand out? And how do you get it in front of enough people? If you're just joining live, do share what events you run or want to run. I can try and help you as I go. So there are three key steps to filling your events to ensure that they are successful. The first step is creating the event itself, right? So this is really ensuring that the event is exactly what your ideal attendees actually want. So I'm talking about the content, the delivery of the event, any supporting resources, how you price it, right? So really creating the whole event. So one person, I can't see your name, but meditation, breathwork, spiritual stuff, using crystals, oils, etc. Okay, yeah, those kind of things, great. The second step is writing the event copy, and this includes the title of the event. So this is really about the words that sell the event. So whenever you create an event, online, which I'll talk about in a minute, this needs to really spell out the problem that the event is solving, what it's teaching people to do, what it's helping people to do, the key benefits to the potential attendees. Okay. So that's number two. So number one is creating the event. Number two is the event copy and title. And number three is promoting the event. So this is all the different things that you can do to promote the event. And there's usually a lot more that you can be doing than you probably are, right? Because we get a bit stuck in our way of like, oh, this is what I do. And, there's always more that we can be doing. So this is kind of a process that I take clients through when creating any offer. An event is just one offer type. So whether you're creating a coaching program or anything, it's kind of the same process, right? So they're the three steps. But most of the time, what I see is people are getting all three steps pretty wrong, or they're not doing it as well as they could be. They're winging it, they're doing their best, but they're not really following a tried and tested process with a strategy behind it. And probably more than anything, they're not promoting it enough, right? This is one of the biggest things, is that you have to be promoting it online, probably way, way more than you think you need to, and probably way more than you feel comfortable doing so, because the reach on social media is so poor. Most of your audience are simply not seeing your posts, right? And then that in turn can feel really disheartening, right? So then you're like, well, no one's really seeing it, no one's engaging, so what's the point? And so I'm not going to do very much, and then you do less and less, right? And I think particularly if you're used to relying on Facebook used to be really great for kind of promoting events. I still think it has a place, but most people are not doing enough. And I think we can get into a vicious circle of like, well, I do a few things, but then I don't expect many people to come, so I don't want to put in more effort trying to promote it because not many people turn up. And so then it's just one of the many things that they're trying to do, or different offers that they're trying to sell, but it sort of self-perpetuates, that it's like you're not putting enough in and then you're not getting the results, and then not putting enough in and not getting the results. So if you don't put enough in, you're not going to get the results, right? And I'm not saying that you have to hustle your ass off, like that's not my thing, or that you should put all your eggs in one basket. I'm just saying that if you're going to make the effort to run an event, then you need to put in an appropriate amount of effort into marketing that event so that it is successful, right? Because that's how you leverage your time and make more money. So as an example, I was with a client last week, and she said she'd sort of given up a little bit using Facebook to promote her yoga classes, her yoga series. So she does like 5-week series, and her yoga retreats, because she just felt just didn't really work. And in reality, she actually was doing less and less and less. So she was getting poorer and poorer results. But there's still so much that you can do on Facebook and elsewhere to promote your events, because you have to get it in front of people, or they won't even know about it, right? So you've got to think there's all these people out there that would be interested, but you have to get it in front of them. Otherwise, they're just, how are they going to know? So after our session, she felt really re-energized and excited again. And yeah, I wanted to, so this was the inspiration for the live this week, because this was a lot of the stuff that I went through with her. So I've got quite a lot of top tips for promoting online, because they're nearly all kind of online. But obviously, if you've got in-person events, then there's a lot of stuff that you can be doing offline as well. Okay, so I'm going to rattle through them, so get your pens and paper ready. So number one, you need to create the event on Facebook, right? So you can do this on your Facebook page. On LinkedIn, you can also create events. So if you didn't know that you can do that, you can just use the same title and copy and everything, and create the event on LinkedIn as well. If you're using Eventbrite, which is another great tip, really, because people use it as a search engine and they're looking for things on there, but you can create the event in Eventbrite, and then as long as the it's integrated with your Facebook account, with one click at the end when you've created it, you can automatically create the event in Facebook as well, and it just duplicates it and links across so that if people click on the tickets, it takes them to the Eventbrite page, right? So if you're not doing that, make sure you're doing that. So the second thing that you can do is, obviously, you need to be inviting your friends on Facebook or your connections on LinkedIn to the event. Now, Facebook will penalize you if you invite too many people over and over that are not interested. So make sure that you're if you're running like really regular events, make sure that you're not just inviting like all of your friends. If they're not interested, because Facebook will prevent you from creating events, basically, if you break the rules. But so yeah, just really think about, who you can be inviting to it. And then share your event, right? So make a list of all the relevant Facebook groups, maybe LinkedIn groups as well. If you're not in LinkedIn groups, that's another place where you can share stuff, where you can share it, or other places where you can promote it. So there might be local business groups, networking groups, other interest groups. So make sure that you're researching it, make sure that you're in those Facebook groups, and you're not just in to promote, but you're in to be part of the groups as well. And share it as often as you can. For most Facebook groups, probably once a week is going to be enough, or they'll have rules around particular days that you can share stuff on. Okay, so make sure you follow their rules, but absolutely make sure that you're utilizing Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups as well. Share your event on your Facebook page, share your event on your personal newsfeed, right? And do this more than once, right? So have some different posts ready, some different content that is explaining about why people would want to come, explaining who it's for. You could, do things like the early bird prices ending, or, there's loads of different things that you can talk about your event. So whenever you share it, you want to be sharing something different about the event. And then the other thing you can do that is a real good time saver is have ready, like each week, a short post and just with sort of description and a link somewhere easy that you can copy and paste, so that whenever you see an opportunity, whether it's in a Facebook group or whether you're going through your Facebook groups, whatever, or you can post it or someone's inviting that on their personal page or whatever, you're just ready to copy and paste, right? So you've got a little blurb and the link, and that you want to change that each week so that you're posting something different if you can. And then some social media content in general. Obviously, you've got your own platforms that you can share about your event on as often as you want to, but ensure that you're posting on your own page, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, wherever you are, like a lot. Like make sure that you are posting about it more than you think you should, because not everyone is going to see your post. The reach is terrible on most platforms at the moment, and maybe 10% of your audience is seeing it. So you think you've got to post it 10 times more than you think you do in order to try and get everybody to see it. Of course, not everyone's going to see it. And you need to create some different content or some different posts and maybe some different visuals. So maybe you've got photographs from an event that you've run before. Just thinking of different ways that you can talk about the events. You need a bunch of ideas to start with so that you can kind of plan out your different content across the 2 to 4 weeks or whatever before your event. Obviously, the bigger event, the bigger or more expensive the event, the longer that lead time needs to be. If it's a free event, a couple of weeks is enough, but you need to be posting, most days sort of before that about different things. And what comes out of the process that I was talking about at the beginning that I take clients through when creating an offer is that we get a lot of marketing ideas that we can draw out of that process so that you've got a bunch of ideas to then make your plan with. The other thing you can do is to post in the Facebook event, right? So it's now under a tab that says discussion. But again, you can post the same content that you're posting elsewhere where you're sharing the event, but post it actually in the Facebook event. You can share different content, like different content formats, so photos, videos, reels, posts, and really talking about the benefits, why they should go. You could share testimonials from previous events and what they're going to get, what they're going to learn, why they need this in their life, what is it going to help them do, all of those sorts of things. The next thing you can do that you probably wouldn't do every single time, again, it depends how often you run events, but you could ask your Facebook friends to share it on their own Facebook feed or in groups or anywhere else. So ask people, right? So people are usually often willing to help if they get asked. So you could send them a link to a post that you've already done and just go, oh, would you mind, engaging in that post? And then can you share it on your own newsfeed? I'd love more people to see this. Or there's different ways that you can do it. But just asking people to share, even just on one of your posts on Facebook, just asking people to share. You could post in also your previous Facebook events. So if it's a similar kind of event, or it's the same event, you could post in the last one that you did to go, hey, if you missed out this time or you want to come again, this is the link to the next one that I'm running. It's in a couple of weeks, whatever. Do videos, right? Do lives. Lives work much better. Do reels, which is short form video. Do them on your Facebook page, do them on your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your Instagram, wherever you are. Lives and videos are what the algorithm love at the moment on pretty much every platform. And you can also then inspire people with your energy. They can get to know you a bit more, and you can talk a little bit about the event and what it's all about. And you can repurpose. You can do one video and repurpose it across all of your platforms. The other thing you can do, if you write blogs, you could write a blog about the event topic. So if you're running a workshop or something particularly, you could talk about, why people struggle with it, what the problem is, and how this workshop is going to solve that problem, so that you're setting the tone, you're setting the perspective, and you're leading your audience to that desire to attend, right? And then obviously the call to action is, go and book here. Email your list if you have an email list. Again, you want to be mentioning it more than once. Tell them a story, give them reasons why to click and find out more. All of that works. You just have to do it. You have to be consistent. And again, just repurpose content that you're already creating. We've got 3 left. So I told you there was just lots of tips. Networking. So if you go networking, you want to be upping your attendance, go to those groups. You have something to promote. You have something on sale, right? You need to get out there. You need to get in front of people and you need to talk about it. So you're sharing the link, you're going to the groups. If you're going in person, you might want to have leaflets to hand out, but you want to be getting in front of as many people as possible in the lead up so that you're getting people to book. You could ask previous attendees for referrals, or you could ask them to share the event. So depending on the kind of event, you might want to invite them to the next event. If it's the same thing and you don't think they would come again, you could just say, oh, do you know anyone that would be interested? I'd really appreciate if you could share it either on socials, or if you could, pop it over on an email to a few friends that you think would be interested. But just be really clear about what you want them to do and make it really, really easy for them. So include some copy, include the link. You could ask them to add their own opinion or whatever, but just make it super, super easy for them. And then my last tip is about messaging your kind of warm leads, or if you have a wait list, or if you have people that were interested last time. So again, this is something that maybe if you haven't done before, you could start doing for your next event, is people that maybe showed an interest but couldn't go for some reason. Keep a list of those people and then make sure that you're kind of messaging them the next time. And you can say to them, oh, can I just take your email address or your phone number, and I'll let you know about next time I'm running a similar event or the same thing, and I'll give you plenty of warnings so that you can book it in. So yeah, just utilizing absolutely every avenue basically that you've got. So I hope that's been helpful. I know there's a huge list of different things to do, but maybe it's made you realize that, not maybe doing as much as you could be. So hopefully that has helped. Do let me know. And if you've got any questions, then let me know in a comment. And I will see you next week for a new Lunchtime Learning Live.